So everybody, welcome and thank you so much for joining us. Oops, I guess I need to get rid of this. So much to do. Why won't you go away? Sorry, what happens? The technology.
Of course.
Okay, why can't I make that window go away? All right, good enough. Anyway, welcome to Learn How to Rock Your Reels with me, Sue Cerna, the founder and CEO of Cerna Social, and Angela Devine, CEO and founder of the Devine Group. We're both here in the Twin Cities area, Minneapolis, and we're so happy that you all have joined us. So thank you very much. A couple housekeeping notes. As Angela said, you need your phone for this session because we're going to learn as we go, and you need to be able to access Instagram on that phone. So please make sure you have that. Everyone, feel free, please just unmute yourself and ask questions as they occur to you. If you have a question, because of the way we're doing this, it's hard for us to see the chat while we're presenting. So please do feel free, if you have a question, to just jump in and ask your question. We are recording this session and we'll post the recording later. So if you want to go back to it, you will be able to re-watch it. And of course, for people that missed it, they'll be able to view it. And yes, we will also share the deck along with the recording so that you can have all of the materials that we presented today. So that is the housekeeping stuff. And we're going to go ahead and just jump right in.
Sue, before you jump right in, are you hitting the record button?
It's already recording.
Perfect.
Yes, good question.
Yes.
So we're going to do quick intros of ourselves, and then I'm going to do a little section on social media strategy, because obviously you shouldn't be doing any social media without a great strategy. And then Angela, who is like a Reels expert, is going to talk you through how to actually make one. And I'm pretty sure that I'm going to learn something too. And then we'll have time at the end for Q&A if anybody has any last questions. So that's the agenda. Who am I? So I'm originally from Philadelphia, but I moved to the Twin Cities 10 years ago and we love it here. I spent my first decade of professional work as a business reporter for daily newspapers. I was in Lansing, Michigan, and then Raleigh, North Carolina. And I covered retail and consumer trends for that whole time. And then when we moved to Minnesota, I started working for a company called Cargill, which is a really large private company here in the Twin Cities. And I was the global head of social media there for almost 9 years. I left Cargill last year and I started my own consulting company, Cerna Social, which talks a lot about strategy and especially the safety of social media. That's me. Angela?
Yes, hello. I'm Angela Devine. I know some of you and some are brand new faces, so nice to meet you. This is my husband and my dog that loves the winter that maybe you heard me talking about. She loves being outside this time of year, but we are avid campers, avid hikers. As much as I love helping businesses do all the things on the screen, when I have a chance to get away, I like to completely cut myself off. So a little background on me, I have been an entrepreneur for about 10 years. I started in commercial photography, hated how fake it was, went all the way to the opposite, wedding photography, loved it. But then, after 7 years, I was like, I want to do something that's kind of, maybe less weekends, all weekend, all summer. So I started working with business owners and taking their photos for their websites and social media. And then as I started working with business owners, they're like, hey, I really like the photos you took. What else can you help me with? And I have a background in branding. I've studied it for many years. And I started helping them lay out their websites and help them create copy and then social media strategy, as well as now I have an agency where we can do pretty much anything under the sun, from graphics to photo and video to also helping you just lay out your strategy for putting your brand online. So it's been a wild and fun journey, especially opening a business in 2020, right? Always a good time. Sue knows that very well.
Why not?
Why not, right?
Yep, totally. Okay, so let's talk for a couple minutes about strategy for social and for Reels. So if I was going to give you guys a 60-second crash course on how to make any social media strategy for any platform, this is what it would look like. I always advise people that they need to start with their goals, right? And when I say start with your goals, I don't mean start with your goals for social media. I mean, tell me what your business's goals are overall. So you could say something like, I'm trying to grow my web traffic by 10% this year, or I'm trying to get 100 new clients this year, or whatever it is, right? Start with those big picture goals, and then think about which of those goals social media could be a tactic for, right? So your social media goals should always, always, always align with your actual business goals. Actually, this morning on my blog, I posted a blog post about how social media for businesses can be fun, but can't be just for fun. You should always, always be aiming towards something, right? So some goals are perfect for social media. You know, I'm trying to get web traffic up, perfect for social media. Other goals, like I'm trying to increase the efficiency of my packing department, not very social friendly goal. That's not a goal that social can help you with, right? So make sure you identify your overall goals and then pick the ones that social can help you with for your social media strategy. After you do that, think about your target audience. Who exactly are you trying to reach, right? What is the demographic? What does that audience look like? And then you have to ask yourself, where are those people, right? If they are not on Instagram, then doing social media on Instagram does not make sense for you, right? If they are not young and hip and cool, maybe TikTok is not the right place for you. So you really have to think about, where does that audience live online, and go to that place. You have to meet them where they are, right? So it may be for some of you that Reels makes a ton of sense, and for others of you, it may not make that much sense, right? So you have to really think through, who are you trying to reach and where do those people live online? And then you use the tactic, right? Then you pick the tactic that works best for that audience living in that place, right? So if Reels meets all those criteria, right? My audience is on Instagram, they love to look at Reels, and this aligns with my business goals, then Reels is a fantastic tactic for you to use. Okay, so social media strategy in 60 seconds. There you go. Let's talk for a minute about why Reels is a thing, right? So even though Facebook, which owns Instagram, has never truly come out and said it, it's clear to all of us in the industry that Instagram launched Reels to compete with TikTok, right? TikTok came onto the scene like gangbusters. It took everybody by surprise, and everybody's trying to figure out how to compete with that. And you may have noticed that when one social media platform does something cool, the other ones pick it up and roll out the same thing, right? So if you're planning for your company or for your business to use Reels, you really should think through some of these questions, right? Is this the type of format that appeals to that target audience, right? Is this the type of thing that makes sense for your brand, right? Does it seem like a natural fit, or does it seem like you're stretching a little too far? Really good questions to ask yourself, and think about it as TikTok on Instagram, right? Like, is this a thing that your audience would like on your Instagram, right? Finally, sorry, lots of text. I hate text slides. Just general broad guidelines. Reels make really good sense for things like tutorials, right? If you're going to show someone, here are the 4 steps to do X. Those are great Reels. Behind the scenes snapshots, if you're going to show them something cool that maybe they wouldn't have access to otherwise. It's really good for people who are creative, right? So if you want to showcase your work, Reels can be really great for that kind of stuff, right? Day in the life of is a little dry in terms of corporate comms, but if you wanted to do like, here's a day in the life of our office, you could do that kind of things. It's really visual, right? So things that you can demonstrate visually are really good for Reels. Things that are not so great on Reels, things that are super text heavy like this slide, things that are too complex for you to be able to show off in a short amount of time, and things that just cannot be visually demonstrated, right? You want to make it compelling to the eye. And so, if the topic doesn't fit that, then you have to think about, maybe Reels is not the best way to showcase this particular piece of content. If you're already using TikTok, you may have noticed people actually just repurpose their TikTok videos on Reels. That's something you can do. But remember that there's a difference in the length, right? Reels are limited to 15 seconds. And on TikTok, you have up to a minute, which is a very big difference when you're talking about video length. So just keep that in mind, and I would honestly say that, for me at least, when I see a TikTok video on Instagram, it kind of feels like, well, okay, but I'd rather not see that TikTok logo there, right? So just think through what are the things that you could showcase that are really visual and compelling and interesting visually. And those are really good candidates for reels. Things that you struggle to demonstrate visually are really not that great for reels, and you should find another way to present that content. And finally, in terms of social media, kind of how to do social media for a company, I would normally tell you to look at metrics, right? Look at the metrics on your posts, see what they tell you. Unfortunately, the metrics for Reels specifically are not as deep as they are for other types of social media or even other parts of Instagram. Basically on Reels, all you can see is the likes and the comments, right? You can see them down in the corner here. Unfortunately, that's pretty much the depth of the metrics for now. I assume it's going to get better. But you can still use those metrics to tell you something, right? You can look at which of your posts get the most likes and comments. Obviously, that can tell you something. You can also do some A/B testing, right? You can create 2 different versions of a reel and see which one performs better. If I was advising a client, I would say you should try to decide on a couple of content buckets, right? So themes, if you will. Pick 3 or 4 themes for your content and post, one of each bucket routinely for a while and just see which theme performs the best, right? That will tell you something about which content or which theme is really appealing to your audience. And then you can adjust course and maybe do a little more of that one and a little less of the other ones. So the metrics on Reels still can help you understand and get some insights, but they're just not as deep as other parts of Instagram or other parts of social media platforms. My prediction is that Reels will soon get deeper metrics the same way stories did. But for now, that's what you've got. So pay attention to your metrics and still try to use them in a smart way. They can still tell you things if you're paying attention and doing things strategically.
So a question we got in the chat was, where do you find the metrics?
Yep.
And it's where, I don't know, can anyone see my cursor? Is that even possible?
No, because I'm presenting.
Okay. You want to show with your cursor? Yeah, right there. When you actually click on a reel, it's like won't show you if it's just scrolling across your feed. You actually have to like click on the reel and watch it by itself. And as you do, you'll see those metrics pop up. Yep. So if it's your own reel and you're trying to see the metrics, you have to click on your own reel and then it'll show you.
Yeah. So unlike other parts of analytics on social media, there is no like secret hidden place in the settings that you have to go to see the metrics. The metrics are right on each individual reel. So it's not, it's like so obvious that it's confusing.
Yes.
Okay, like one of the questions I have on that is, what's the difference between a movie on a story and a reel?
Good question. Angela, you might have a better answer to this than I do. My answer is really, reels are video most of the time, and stories can be other things like static photos or text. And also it's just where they are on the Instagram platform. You press in one place to see stories and you press in another place to see reels. One thing that is interesting, Social Media Today reported this morning actually that Facebook is considering allowing people to cross-post their reels on the Facebook Watch portion of Facebook to get more exposure to them. So just like everything else with Facebook and Instagram, since they're one company, they're trying to figure out a way to get people to integrate their posts across all platforms. So it may be soon that you can post your reels on Facebook too, which is a whole nother can of worms, right? But
I mean, that's more confusing.
Yes, that's my answer. Angela, I don't know if you have anything to add.
Yeah, so like Instagram specifically has 3 different ways you can take video and post it somewhere, right? The first is on your story, right? You can hit the literal button and record something. That's just going to post to your story, right? The second way you can do it is create an IGTV. And the main difference between IGTV and Instagram Reels is there's a lot more fun options as far as like things you can do with the reel. They're like more creative, which I'll show you. Also the time limit. Reels now have a 15 or a 30-second time frame. And when you do an Instagram, an IGTV, there's a much longer time frame that you can talk for. So I like to think about IGTV as great if you're trying to teach a lot of content that you can't teach quickly. And reels are really great if you're looking for a fun, creative way to create content that's like snappy, quick, and just like kind of a pop in the face, if you will.
Yep. See, way better answer.
Oh, no.
Good question. It is confusing. I mean, this is one of the reasons that, sessions like this are hopefully of interest to people, is because it is just so darn confusing now to understand all the different ways you can post something, right?
Oh yeah. They just keep adding to themselves, right? It's like, I mean, I never got on the TikTok train because I was just like, hell no, not another social media thing, so it's like, we all just got to keep learning, it sounds like.
Always. So we're going to flip over. I will remind you, this is the point where neither of us can really see the chat window. So if you do have a question, please just unmute yourself and ask it. That's totally great. Angela, over to you.
And Callie, we will talk about this, about the music thing. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. All right. So Sue, you're going to have to move my slides for me. So one of the things that you need to decide before you make a reel, and this like really changed it for me because I didn't understand or know you could do this, is before you make a reel, the biggest thing to decide is, are you going to record your videos on the spot? Or are you going to do it beforehand and then import them into Reels? And I will show you the two differences when we do the thing, but I just wanted to talk about some of the bonuses of pre-recording and the cons of it. So when you pre-record, what's awesome is you can take video on your own and then you can use Reels to put it all together. So what's nice about that is you can pre-record and make a ton of mistakes, right? And just reshoot and not have to deal with like the frustration of the Reels. You can also record multiple different things and then like put them together really easily. And then on Reels, as I'll show you, if you make a mistake while recording on Reels, it's a lot harder to fix. So I tend to do the pre-record thing because it's so much easier for me. And it also helps me put together my content beforehand. I'm like, okay, I'm going to show this. I have to pre-record something like this, something like this, something like this. So what I like about pre-recording for me is it's a lot easier and I actually have to think about what I'm doing. So I'm not like looking at that blinking cursor like I have done on social media posts being like, what do I do? So the cons of it is when you do pre-record, you lose the ability for the fun filters. So that's kind of like a downfall. And again, I guess pre-planning can go either way, right? It can be good or bad. Did someone have a question? I kind of heard a little bloopity blop coming from the audio.
Sorry, that might have been me.
No worries.
I'm trying to get into a comfortable position. I'll mute you.
Yeah, we did hear somebody typing. So if you're not talking, if you could mute yourself, that would be great.
Okay, so if you'll advance the slide.
Yes.
So tips for recording, something that's helpful. Use a well-lit area. So as a photographer, I talk about light a lot, but I think it's really nice to record with natural light with your video. So you don't have to get super fancy with your lighting. You can use filters, but windows are awesome. If you have a space in your office or in your home, I would say if you can put the window in front of you, there's a window right here in my world. So that's my window. So if I was going to record a reel and this was my phone, I could definitely use my phone and record this way because I can see myself really well, or boom, I could face the window. The only thing you don't want to do with windows is turn your body so the window's behind you because that makes it all fuzzy. I don't know if you've noticed that if you've taken a picture. Outdoors, if you're recording, I highly recommend full shade. Why? Again, you don't have to deal with the sun or sun flare. It just makes your life a lot easier. I got a phone tripod with remote. And let me tell you, $20 I've spent a long time. What's great about the remote is that you can actually like hit something and it makes it super, super, super easy to like hit a button, record your thing, hit a button and stop. So it just takes away that extra step of like stepping forward and stepping back. And then I think it's really important to choose a plain background. So if you're adding text, it's easy to read. I personally have the taste of a TGI Fridays. I love shit all over the place. I love my walls full. If you can see by my background, I love art. I love everything everywhere. But when it comes to like, as a brand photographer, I often tell people like, hey, let's, keep things a little bit more like plain and simple in the background if we are going to add text. And you'll kind of see why that is when I start talking more about it. Choose outfits or props that match the colors of your brand. If you're a business owner and say like you have a yoga brand, you're a yoga entrepreneur and your reels are going to show like some yoga poses. If you wore like colors that matched like your logo and your business, it's just going to make it more cohesive. I also think it's appropriate to dress how you would like want to talk to a client in a certain reel. So like if you're a really professional business person and your clients are like the people that you meet in business suits and it's like executive style, you want to dress that way. You don't want to show up in your pajama pants unless the reel is specifically about like, hey, I'm in my pajamas, right? So think about like dressing in a way that makes sense for your audience. And then I also think it's really important if you do have the music feature to choose music that goes well with the brand and the theme of your video. So like I personally hate pop music. I talk about it a lot in my brand. I like people to be unique and march to the beat of their own drum. That's the clients I like to work with. I'm not going to play no Miley Cyrus Party to the USA. Like I'm going to play music that like fits like how I want people to feel. And I also tend to theme my songs around what I'm showing. So I just did a reel that was about like happy poses to do in front of the camera if your brand is really happy. And I use like the Pharrell song Happy. Yes, that's a little bit of a pop song, but I love Pharrell. So like, you know, like there's like, you can kind of theme it so it goes with the actual feel. And I know that someone asked like some business accounts have music, some don't. Yeah, that sucks. There's not really a specific reason why that's happening. It feels kind of like the lottery. I also can't see likes anymore. So I know some people can see likes, some people can't. I think honestly, like it's sometimes just the way Instagram is. And I know that it's brought a lot of people back to TikTok. You can record in TikTok with music and then repurpose as a reel. And yeah, that sucks. And it's Instagram's mistake. And as they keep updating reels, I'm sure that this issue will come to terms.
Yeah, that's very Facebook.
Yeah, it's just like, you know, there's millions of people doing millions of things and they just can't keep it all together, right? And then give yourself grace. The first reel I made took me like 45 minutes and it sucked. And it was right when Reels came out. And let me tell you all the hate I got on it because it like, back when Reels was brand new, it would just like post to like the Reels Central and all these people would, it was like 16-year-olds like just like trolling me hard, being like, what are you doing? I was like, I don't even know. Like I like recorded a bunch of stuff like of me like trying to like fix the camera. It was awful. So like just know that the more you do it, the easier it will get. And nowadays it just posts to your feed. It doesn't post to like 14-year-olds on TikTok. So you're all good. So just give yourself grace. It doesn't need, it's supposed to be fun. And if this really drives you bananas, then guess what? Maybe it's not the right platform for you. But practice makes perfect. So that's my PSA. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Okay, let's advance the slide then. So ideas for Reels. Sue sent a few. Just a little bit of a list. Education. People love to learn. Giving your audience value can be key. So 3 tips your clients needs to know, right? Sharing like value in easy ways, like digestible bites, so valuable on Reels. Another couple that I've seen that have been really cool for certain businesses are share the process of what it's like to work with you or your brand. I've seen this with construction companies that are and interior designers that have been super cool. Like, you know, it's kind of a fun way to show things. If you're a product brand, show how it's delivered. How does it come? How do you assemble it? How to clean it, right? Say it's like a product you have to clean. How you store it. Show it in action and it by itself. I have a food brand that I work with and we literally showed like what's in the box and how to prepare it. So that was really fun and it got a lot of likes. Life hacks, another great thing you can show on Reels, especially if you're a personal brand. You can show like 3 ways to start your morning and keep your energy good, right? Say like you're a fitness person. That's a great way to show them something. If you want to get a little more silly and creative, some ones that I really like to recreate a scene from your favorite movie, favorite commercial. Those can be really fun. Share value tips in the form of 3 ways to get rid of blank. Like, so something your client struggles with, say it's like you're a fitness coach or you're a chiropractor, 3 ways to get rid of back pain. Maybe it's 3 stretches you can do, right? Share how you start your day and end your day. Share a hobby that your ideal clients also love, right? So like if you're a dog person, maybe share a reel of like 3 ways I snuggle with my dog, right? Like you can have fun with it. And then play with filters and introduce yourself or your product. There are so many fun filters and I'll show you them. Even like I tell my clients, like as far as like if you're a personal brand or any brand really, you need to show the creators of the brand at least once or twice a month. Why? If you don't, people just don't know who you are. They will connect to a person far more than a product any day. So just even using a fun filter and introducing yourself can be a great way to use Reels. And that's probably the easiest one you can start with.
Good tips.
Yes. So basics, there is audio. If you have it, I'll show you where that is. Speed. There's a speed that you can use to like speed up your video. I use this a lot when I'm showing poses or slow video down. There's effects, which I'll show you can use. And then there's a timer that you can actually use on the Reels. So just wanted to throw that slide in there and we can actually move on to what's next. So I'm going to walk you through how to create a Reel. It's going to take me a second to set up. So just give me your grace and your patience for a moment. Okay. Boom. Unable to connect. Why? Of course, me and Sue were practiced this beforehand and I was like, okay, I'm going to stop the share, try it again. And if you're direct messaging me, just a heads up, I can't read it right now. So I apologize, but I'll get to it when we have our Q&A portion. Okay. Share screen. Come on, baby. Send the good vibes. Yay!
Fantastic.
God, technology is such a jerk sometimes, isn't it? All right, so as you can see, boom, we're gonna open Instagram. So that's our first step. Open Instagram. How can you create a Reel? Doop, doop, doop. So there's a couple different ways you can do it. The first is to hit the creation button. And then it could be a post. On the bottom, you'll see post, story, right? Reels. Oh my God, there it is, right? Okay, so let's talk about the different pieces. So here is the length button. Everyone see that? 15 seconds, 30 seconds. Anyone have a question about the length? Nope. So you can choose how long you want your Reel to be. Next is the music. If you have this, it's going to pull up artists. You can search. So say I really wanted to play Rage Against the Machine because that's such an appropriate thing to play online, right? I could actually search for this. And if it has it, it'll pull it up. And then I can select a song and it'll let me choose 30 seconds. So, you know, say I wanted some Queen. It'll actually let you choose what part of the song you want it to play. So you can choose like, do you want the beginning, the middle, the end? So I'm going to choose that just to choose something. And then this is the timing button. Do you want it to go in real time? That's number one. If you want it to go 3 times faster, times 3, times 5, you know, you can play around with how you want it to look depending on how quick things are going to be. So when I show like a lot of things, I often speed things up so it's quicker. You can also slow things down. This is the filters button and it is so fun to play with. So, you know, you can look at yourself and then you can scroll through, right? You can look at different filters. Oh my gosh, now there's daisies, now there's snow. It only really works with your face. There's some pretty wild ones like, whoa. So if you're like, I hate all these filters, how can I find one that I like? You can go all the way over to the search. Then it brings up all the different galleries people have created because people do this for a living, believe it or not. They just create Reels filters and you can search. So say I wanted a filter that was like moody, like very dark and moody. You could literally search and it'll bring up all these different filters for you to go through. So let's say like, I'm like, ooh, I like this moody black one. You can hit try it. And then it'll come right in there and you can test it out. Do I like this? Do I not like this? So those are the filters. And the one downfall of not recording on the spot is that those are obviously aren't available because you actually have to record with them in the app. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay, I'm going to keep going. The next is this touch up. I have never really used this because, I mean, I don't touch anything up, but you can like, you know, touch certain things up when it comes to like your own face and whatnot. I don't know a ton about that button, to be honest. So if you have more questions on that, I can do some research and get back to you, but I've never used it. But from what I understand, you can just like touch up your face of it or touch up whatever's you're recording. The next is timer. And this is great if you are not recording with a timer like button. You might have to do this. So like it'll count down and then you can get in position and record. So those are kind of the different buttons that they have. For the sake of not playing Queen over and over again, even though that's something I love to do, I'll take off the music for this. So if no one has any questions, I'll kind of show you how to create a reel using live first, like recording in the app, and then I'll show you how you can upload things to create a reel. Sound good?
Angela, we did have a question in the chat. Maybe you can address it as you demo about what to do about glasses glare.
Oh, glasses glare.
I will tell you all, Angela did the photos for my website and my social, and they're incredible. And as a glasses wearer, she was constantly like, tilt your head, tilt your head.
Oh my God, I hate glasses. So I got these blue blockers and they clearly have glasses glare, right? Especially in front of a screen. So here's the deal. If I turn myself into any body of light, so I'm facing a window, look at the freaking glare, right? So what you have to do is turn yourself so there isn't a glare. I can't do it in front of my computer, so I'm going to do it in front of my phone. My window is right here. If I turn slightly sideways, if I turn my head, you can see my screen is catching glare. You have to play with the placement of your face. When I shoot people in real life and they have glasses glare, I often have to say, tilt your chin down. Slowly move your head this way. Slowly move your head that way. Oh, don't go that way. There's light. So you have to turn your glasses away from the light. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It's really annoying, isn't it? You can always take off your glasses and just be a little blind when you record, right? That's always fun. So say you wanted to record your first reel. I'm going to drop it down to 15 seconds, but pretend I'm introducing myself. So I'm going to hit the record button. It's counting down because I don't have a clicker. Hey, I'm Angela. I'm a photographer and I'm teaching a Reels workshop right now. We're having so much fun. Yay for life. Boom, it recorded that section. When you look at the very top of the reel, do you see how the pink bar is halfway through? That means I've recorded half of the 15 seconds. Let's get weird. I'm gonna hit, instead of the 1 times button, I'm gonna hit the 0.3. It's gonna slow things down. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna record again. Let's see if I can, whoa. So say you just did what I did. You'll do this, you'll screw up and you'll be like, dang it, what do I do now? It sucks sometimes because you can't go back, but you can hit the edit button.
Hey, I'm Angela. I'm a photographer and I'm teaching a Reels workshop right now. We're having so much fun. Yay for life.
And then there's that creepy clip of me, right? So it's going to keep going and going. So you can hit edit and I can actually just delete that clip. Discard. What else I can do is I could cut this clip by hitting the edit button and I can just like cut down what I don't want. Does that make sense? So I could cut it to just say, hey, I'm Angela, could go the whole thing. When you decide, you can hit trim, boom. Then you hit done to move on. Okay, so now if I want to record the rest of this reel, I'm actually going to hit speed up and it's going to be stuck on the same filter unless I go back in and change it. So say I wanted to change it to, I really like this orange, right? Like I'm an orange and I'm talking. Hey, I'm an orange and I'm talking now and I'm showing people how to use Reels. Yay! There are so many different things you can learn from Reels. This recording is taking a long time, right? But we're just gonna ride it out. It's not weird at all. Hooray, hooray, hurrah, etc., etc., etc. Everything go Cubs. Really good reel, right? So now it's gonna replay, and we're not gonna listen to that last part.
Teaching a Reels workshop right now. We're
Okay.
having so much fun.
So it'll go through everything. I speeded it up, so that's what it sounds like. So you can just do weird things. Okay, so say I wanted to add text now. I want to add text and really showcase like a few things about me. So like say I wanted to write,
We have
hey,
a question, sorry.
yep, go ahead.
Greta, you might need to clarify, but she says, can you edit sections in the middle or only at the beginning and the end?
Only you have to do it right away. And I'll show you a bit of how that's done. I kind of showed it already where you have to like go in and edit it right away. But I'll put together a few things in the next one for you to see, and that'll clarify that.
Okay.
So say I wanted the text to say, hey, I'm Angela. The one thing about text is you have to go in, excuse me, hold on one second. You have to click on the text, and this is the most confusing part. This took me the longest to learn. Right now, the text is spanning over the entire reel, right? This is how you make text go away and come back up. You hit the sidebar and you drag it. So if I just wanted, hey, I'm Angela to end here, boom, you hit done. Then let's say I wanted to say, I'm teaching a workshop. I'm a really good speller if you can't tell. I went to college. Then I could have the text, this text come up next.
Pay for life.
Yep. So then I would want this text to pop up, and it shows you where it pops up. So if it comes over it, it's going to show you, but you have to figure out where you want the text to pop up and down. So you can play with the text and say, this is what we wanted.
So much fun.
I would hit share to, and then you can either save it as a draft if you don't want to share it right away, or you can hit share. If you wanted to write a caption like, this is a weird reel. Boom. You could hit OK, and then you could hit share. And that would actually share to your news feed if you wanted to. You can toggle that off, but this will put it on your news feed, and you can hit share and it'll populate to Instagram. If you turn this off, it will share, but it will only share onto your Reels part of your Instagram. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Cool. Now, if you're like, I don't want this creepy orange face to be the cover, right? You can actually click cover, and you can pick from the reel what you want as the cover. So that's one way to do it. Another way to do it is you can add one from camera reel. So often what I do is I'll create a cover for the reel. It's only there for like a split second, but that's what'll hold its place on your Instagram feed. So say I wanted it to look like this. Boom, hit done. And now the cover is that, and that's what will appear on Instagram, but it'll go right into the reel. Does that make sense to people?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a lot. This is a lot of information, but I hate this reel. So I'm just gonna boop,
Hey,
boom, discard, and it's over. So now if we wanted to create a reel from already created stories, let's do that. And this is not gonna make, it's not gonna be a very making sense reel, just like the last one, but again, I'm just trying to show you examples. So I recorded some videos. You can go through your phone and look at all the videos you've created, right? And you can pick what you want. So this time, instead of doing a 15-second reel, let's make it hard for me. And let's do a 30-second reel. Again, do I want audio? Yes, but if you don't have audio, it's not a big deal, right? You can always record it silent. Most people listen on silent anyways. Or you could do it on TikTok. I'm not gonna do it just for the sake of you're gonna hear the music over and over again. I'm going to choose ×2, right? I want what I'm gonna show to speed up because I'm gonna show a bunch of different poses. Okay, and then I'll click in here and I'll select my video. So let's say I wanted this video and it's me I'm sitting down. I'm going to take off my shoes and my socks. And I'm going to sit down on the ground. So this is an example of something I could put in there. Now, this whole video is 58 seconds. So I put the whole thing in there. It'll take up the entire reel. Do you see how I can show like how much I want it to be here? So I'm going to make this short. I'm going to make this one. I just want to show me taking off my shoes and socks and having a seat. So I'm going to edit this. So it starts with me on the ground, taking off my shoes, taking off my socks, boom. And then once I'm ready to be like, okay, that's the clip I want, I'm going to hit add. Next video I'm going to hit, I'm going to pick this one that's 16 seconds. Oh, I'm going to sit down again, apparently. But this time I'm not taking off my shoes and my socks. I'm just going to sit there. So if I don't want all the things, if I just want to be meditating, let's say, I'm going to put that there. And again, if you have to come to the camera and step back, you can edit that out. I feel like that's so cool. So I'm just going to have me meditating. That's a short clip, right? Look at how short that is. I'm going to add it. Then I'm going to add another clip of me. Now I don't have any shoes and socks on, and I'm spinning. So here we go. Here's me spinning. That's what I'm going to add. Boom. And then to fill up the reel, I'm going to add another thing of me. I'm going to scroll till there's something I want because I already spun. I'm going to be dancing. Woohoo! Yeah, so cool. Add. And now there's like a 2-second clip at the end that I need to add. So I'm just going to fill it with that. Okay, so now I've got all of the reels uploaded. It's all pink at the top. If you want to edit it, to your question, Greta, hit edit clips. See how I can choose which section I want? The one thing that sucks about this, you all, if I choose to edit this section, and I can't make it longer. I can only make it shorter. And then when I make it shorter, guess what? I have to add more at the end. So say I trimmed it to that. Now my reel isn't long enough and it'll kind of clip it for me in general. Sometimes if you do this, it'll make you add more. Other times it won't. I've seen it go both ways. I don't know why. I think honestly, it's like a software thing. So now I have these clips all together, right? If I wanted to add text, what would I have it say? Add text. I could say like, take off your shoes and socks. Like say it was a steps to fun, steps to have fun. Or how about ways to have fun? Boom, that's my first piece of text. Again, it's gonna come over the whole thing unless I pull it back.
So Greta has clarified her question. She says, my question was, can you cut out content in the middle of a video or clip or only at the beginning and end? Thank you, Greta.
I just showed you how you could cut out the middle. Did that not make sense?
You want to go over it again?
Unmute yourself and talk.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't quite understand cutting out the middle. I'm trying to do this, watch you guys and do it on my phone because my computer's being a piece of crap. So
yep, so I can show you. I'm going to cancel.
thank you.
Go to edit clips. There are all my clips. This is a middle of a clip, right? So editing the middle of a story or a reel, hit the scissor button and I can edit it. See, I can make it smaller or longer using the button at the bottom. And it's not showing you guys the, see that? I can make it longer. Sorry, there's a little bit of delay with Zoom. Does that make sense, Greta?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Absolutely. Okay, so trim. So done. I have ways to have fun. This is the ways to have fun is the first piece of text. Again, I put it really short. I'm going to add take off your shoes and socks, and that'll come. And then I have to make sure that I put the text where I want it to be. Otherwise, it's going to show the whole entire experience. And Zoom is so much slower than actually what I'm talking, so I'm going to let it catch up. So then you're going to edit down the text to where you want it to be. Piece of advice with text. If you have your text way too low, it's not going to show. If you have it way too high, it's not going to show. So you want to make sure your text is kind of in the middle, because if not, it's going to show up on your story and you're not going to be able to see where the text is. Does that make sense, everyone? It's kind of a pain in the ass, I know. So you want the text to be like kind of in the middle. So then if this was all the text that I wanted, again, I would hit share to. Other things you can add the fun stickers and GIFs and things that you do to your normal stories. They're all there. So I could add Snoop Dogg saying game over if I wanted. Again, you have to click on it and decide when do you want that to come up. Sorry, my Zoom is catching up to me talking. So say I wanted that to be in there. It could pop up for a second. It could stick around for a second. Hit done. I could add, not a GIF, but I could add Friday, my least favorite thing in the world to say, but it is Friday. Boom, that could pop up. So see how there's all these different things you can add to the reel? Like it's pretty much the 3 steps are put it together with the videos. Then you add the text, the stickers, whatever you want. And then step 3, you can share it. You can also draw.
One more question. How do you add a link, or can you add a link?
You can type one.
Mm-hmm.
But will it click through? Let's try. I don't know. Let's try it out. www.thedivine. Okay, say I wanted this link to pop up at the very end. Boom. Okay. Friday, all the things. So once you get everything set, you can actually watch it over and over again and see like the one confusing thing. Do you see like how all the things are like kind of shaded out? That's the one annoying thing about Reels. I can't wait for them to fix this. What you have will pop up, but it's all layered. So it's really confusing. So another piece of advice that I have is when you use your text, use different colors. So like I'll often do like, I'll do the rainbow. I'll be like, red text will pop up first, orange text will pop up next, yellow text. So that way, at least I can remember, because it can get really overlapped and confusing. And I wish there was a better way to do it. That's just how it is right now. So say I'm like, oh my God, this is the best reel ever. I'll share it. I would put a caption. You can put your hashtags here, right? And then one thing you can do, say you're like, I don't know if I'm ready to share. You can save it as a draft and it'll just live on your reels. Then to go into it, to make sure like, hey, where is that? When you go to this part of your homepage, there's the IGTV button, right? For longer stuff. Reels button is right here. Oh, look, it's saved as a draft, right? So then if you want to publish it, often what I'll do is I'll batch a bunch of reels. I'll click on it and then be like, okay, select, I'm ready to publish this. You can edit it again. You can make changes. Does that make sense? Discard edits, it'll still be right there. So let's actually look at a reel I've created that doesn't suck. How about that? I created one the other day about fun, light, happy photos. Hold on, my internet connection is unstable. It'll pop up hopefully. Sharing Zoom video and reel video is kind of complicated. But see how the text is kind of up high enough so that it's not like falling to the bottom. So it'll show the different things that you put together. And then if I wanted to look at the analytics of the reel when it was all over, I could hit this button and it'll show me how many plays it has, how many likes it has. You can scroll down, see who liked it, just like a regular Instagram post. And then say you wanted to share it, boom, you could hit this button. You could add the reel to your story. You could send it off to anyone you wanted. You could also save it by hitting that button. And then those 3 dots allow you to delete it, remove it from the grid, save it to your camera roll. So say you wanted to repurpose it to TikTok, go the other way, boom, there you go. You could copy the link, you could, and then post it somewhere. You could share it to your Facebook page, etc. And those are kind of all the options you have with Reels.
Yep, I'll emphasize the point about putting your text kind of in the middle. The reason that that's important from an overarching standpoint is if people are just like watching reels and watching them swipe through, a lot of times the view is condensed on a mobile device, right? And only when you kind of click into that individual reel does it expand and fill your whole screen, right? So the text that's at the very top and the very bottom often gets cut off in that smaller view. And it's only people who expand it that are going to see the text, right? So make sure you've got it high or low enough that that doesn't happen to you. And we also had a question from Callie. Is there a way to control the timing of text and stickers?
Yes, that was what I was showing with, let's go back into this one. So to control it, you have to go into, hit the button where the text is, right? See how, where that little window is, right here? Hold on, it's a little delayed. See that? That's where you control the text. So right now I have, take off your shoes and socks. If I wanted it to pop up here, it would pop up here because that's where the window is. So if I wanted to move it to the beginning, I would just move it all the way here.
Yep. So to emphasize, there's a slider like that when you're adding a section of video to your reel, and also for each kind of visual graphic thing you layer over it, right? So you adjust the timing of each one. Does that make sense? I hope. Okay, cool.
Are there other questions about reels? How to create them, the functions within, etc.?
Yeah, how do people see them? Do they, I mean, you talked about you can put it into your post, or otherwise will it only be people that are particularly looking for reels content?
So you're asking about how to share it?
No, I mean, I just wondered how people are using reels. It's very new to me. Are they, is it something that people will actively go onto Instagram and press on reels, and what sort of people does that appeal to? Or is it best to sort of share it into your, normal feed?
I think it's best to always share into your feed too, because it's double the advertising. Like, why not? There are people that will just look for reels. You can literally just search for them. When you search a hashtag, a person, you can just look at their reels. So I think it depends on the people and how they're using it. I think what makes reels so appealing is it creates creativity. You have to talk about something in a way that you normally don't. It's visual, it's exciting. So a lot of people that are attracted to that are bored of seeing post after post, they'll search reels. And I also always suggest share it to your story. That way they see it no matter what.
Right.
Does that help a little bit, Jerry?
Yeah, that's great. Thanks.
Awesome.
Other questions? No? Okay, well,
I have a question.
Yes.
I have a really quick question. Sorry. I see this often on stories and perhaps maybe on reels too, where people actually have a link that takes you to a web page, but I don't know how to do that. Can you show how to set up a call to action, like where you're going to take somebody to take action?
So the problem is, unless you have a certain amount of followers, the call to action won't take them anywhere.
Okay.
So you can tell them where to go, but you can't put a link that's going to link to your website. That didn't work on my reels.
Okay.
So you have to, I usually do a call to action at the end of mine that say, check out the link in my profile. That's what I often use. So like, if it's like, I've used a couple of reels to promote like an email drip that we're doing. Yes, Greta, I'm talking about the swipe up option. You have to have a certain amount of followers to get that. So instead of doing that, you can say, check out the link in my profile, and you can create like a link tree or something else and have multiple links there so that people can go find it that way. But yeah, it sucks that you can't, or you can say like, send me a DM and I'll send you the link.
Yeah, Instagram is not very link friendly in general. I mean, you see a lot of people going link in bio, that's the reason, is because even when you put a link in the copy of a normal Instagram post, it's not clickable. People can't just hit it like they can on other social media platforms. So unfortunately, the workaround that has kind of become common is see the link in my bio, right? It's
Okay.
sad but true.
So I have a link tree and I can use that. Do you know how many followers you need in order to have that feature?
It's a lot. It's like 10,000 or something like that.
Yeah, I can't remember. It's like 5 or 10K.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They try to, the reason they do that is they want it to be for big businesses, right? Which is really unfair to small businesses, but.
Right.
You can 10,000 is the answer.
Thank you. This has been awesome.
right?
Awesome. This has been so fun. Thank you.
Was
Can I
there
ask a quick question?
Yep.
Okay, so before I didn't have music, but now I do.
Yay.
I just saw it when I was trying to do it when you guys were showing us. So I know that you said that there's royalty restrictions if you have a business account. So if it's there, can I just use it without okay, cool.
Sure can, as far as I know. I don't think there's some things that you'll search for that you can't find. And I think that's the reason. And then someone asked me, yes, you can tag someone else's account. So like say like me and Sue wanted to create a reel that would tag each other. I could put her tag in there, no problem.
Yep, it's the same, it works exactly the same as tagging other accounts in stories. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then Melissa asked, do you find that your IG peak times play a part in how many? Yes, it's just like a post. It's just like anything. If you're posting your reel at, 4:30 in the morning and your clients aren't on at 4:30 in the morning, it probably won't get seen as quickly. One thing I've noticed with my reel specifically, and I don't know if it's my account or others, but I'll often post my reel and it won't get a lot of excitement. And then like by the end of the day or the next day, oh my God, it's been seen a bunch. So that is just my account. This is something that sucks about the analytics of reels, but you can write down your own analytics, right? Like when did that really get going? Again, I would replay it on your story as many times as you want. You can keep replaying it to your story if it doesn't get enough engagement the first time.
Yep. Good. Any other questions before we wrap up here? Okay, so before we let you guys go, Angela and I have a special offer for anyone who attended this session. First of all, thank you for attending. We hope you found it valuable. We are teaming up on this offer. If you are interested in a brand and social media assessment of how you're doing, we're offering kind of a combo package where you get input from both of us in our different area of expertise for a super low price of $200. So if you're interested in doing that with us, we'd be happy to talk to you about it or answer any questions you have about it. Contact either one of us and we'll get you to the right place. So again, we're going to share the deck and the recording out hopefully later today or at the latest Monday. And we really thank you all for attending. We hope you found it useful.
Okay.
Thanks so much.
Yes, thanks for coming.
Thank you so much.
And please, if you do create reels, I would love to see them. Please, if we're not connected on Instagram, my Instagram is the Divine Group MN. You can find it on my website as well, or Sue's, and we could even type it in the chat real quick.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah, but we would love to
see how you do.
See what you create.
Yes, totally. We're sure you all are professionals in the wings, just waiting to be amazing reels creators.
Yeah, so please let's connect on social. I would love to see your reels. If you ever have questions about them, you can hit me and Sue up. We're here for you.
Totally.
Thanks, Gils.
Yes, on that note, thank you so much for coming. If anyone else has additional questions, feel free to stick around and ask. We'll hang out for about 5 more minutes while people pop off.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks a lot.